In this video, we're going to talk about setting up a interval program. So I'm here on my Learners Programs page. I'm going to click Add Program and then select the interval type. So here I can put in my program name and any instructions that I want to put in for this program, or instruction videos or learning materials. Then I'm going to navigate to the Targets tab and enter my targets. You can have multiple different targets within an interval program. I'm going to set my status to acquisition. Now on my data recording tab, I'm going to see some different options here than I would on other skill acquisition programs. So first I'm going to set a maintenance workflow or mastering workflow. Something to note here is that we do have the option to either use a frequency workflow or an accuracy workflow. So increase or reduce frequency would set your mastery criteria based on the number of successful or not successful intervals that you take data on. And then an accuracy workflow would be based on the percent of correct intervals that were taken. So this is often more common. Something to note here is that we don't have a decrease accuracy workflow option. So for using this for behavior reduction goals, I'm going to show you a workaround using prompt level templates. So I will select an improve accuracy workflow. And now I'm going to show you on a prompt level template. I'm going to select just a simple yes, no option for my prompt level. So what that looks like is I have yes as my successful outcome, and I have no as my not successful outcome. This is for acquisition, so this will be great for improving accuracy if I'm using kind of that accuracy workflow. If you want to use the accuracy workflow for behavior reduction, what you can do instead is create your prompt level template like this, where I still have the same yes, no options, but now I've turned no on as the successful outcome. And so what this will look like is when graphed, the intervals with no instances of that behavior will be the successful outcome. And then you can use that increased accuracy workflow to measure kind of percent reduction. So it's just kind of a little workaround for that option. So I'm going to pick my workflow and my prompt template. Now I'm going to pick the interval length. So I can choose how long I want my interval, hours, minutes, and seconds. So here I have the default is 1 minute. And I can choose whether I want to sync my timer with the session duration or not. So if you click this, your timer will start when you start your session. And if you have this unchecked, you will manually start the timer when you want to start running that interval program. Up to you on what you want to do there. Here you can set a default observation. So if I want there to be a default observation, let's say we're measuring berry behavior, and I'm going to say I want my default observation to be no. And then that way staff will only need to go in and change it if the behavior did occur during an interval. You can do that. So, or you can leave this blank to make sure staff record a value on every interval. So again, up to you if you want to. And then here, the last option here is to warn before the interval ends. So if you select this, you can set how many seconds you want it to warn before the interval ends. So let's say 10 seconds. You can choose whether you want to pause on this warning or not. This will pause the timer until staff go in, record their data, and manually restart the timer. So that is an option you can turn on. And then you can select your warning sound. There's multiple different options, and you can preview that sound right there. So those are kind of your options for setting up your interval program. In our next video, we are going to talk about running an interval program on the data sheet.